Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca. Today we're going to be doing like all levels really, but a gentle level one mat work session where our focus is going to be a little bit on releasing tension in our upper shoulders, upper back, neck, and our jaw, which is often an area where we carry our stress. You will just need your mat and a hand towel that I already have mine rolled up that you could place. You'll have to play around maybe with what size of a hand towel you use, or maybe dish towel, but you want to be able to put it behind the curve of your neck when you're laying on your back and be comfortable and not feel like it's pressing up into your neck or that your head is tipping back over it. Yeah, and that's all we're going to need. So we're going to start sitting, and if you're not comfortable to be relaxed in your spine as you're sitting on your mat, either with your legs crossed or knees bent or whatever works, then you could just grab a chair for this first part. So we're going to bring our attention first, as we do often, to our breath. And I just would like you to, whether you're in your chair, on your mat, is just find your nice sit bone foundation. And just rock, put a little bit of weight into your right sit bone, left sit bone, and then try to really feel where do you have an even weight? And how does your spine line up on top of that nice symmetrical pelvis? You'd like your weight to be not into your tailbone, but also not into your pubic bone. So forward and back, you're also finding your center. And just take a moment there to really feel that your sit bones melt into your chair or your mat. And then from that base, from that nice foundation, you drop tall in your spine, really thinking about, we've used this before, but if you had a string at the very top of your head, and almost picture it a little bit towards the back of your head, the string goes to a nice big helium balloon, and it's lifting, lifting, lifting. You're really getting what we call axial extension. You're getting a length in your spine right out of the crown of your head, right out of the vertex. Once you have that gorgeous posture, I'd just like you to take your hands and put them on your low ribs. And you can do this but if it's not comfortable in the shoulders like that, you could always cross the arms. And you're just aiming to place your hands on the lower outside portion of your ribs so that we can feel a big expansion into that area. So with your breath in, trying to feel even expansion, right and left. A widening and expanding of the ribs out to the side, and as you breathe out, that same area will narrow, right? Nice breath in and out, right? And we're going to lengthen the breath a little bit. And I want you to make sure you're comfortable in your shoulders. So if you're here and you're already tense, right, we're trying to get rid of that today. So instead of being with elbows out to the side like that, if you want to just hug yourself, that's okay too. I want you to be as relaxed in that upper part of your spine as you can. And we're going to lengthen the breath. So we're going to breathe in, and I'm going to count for you. So you're going to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you want to continuously fill. You don't want to fill to 1 and then just get a little bit more for 2, 3, and 4. You'd like to be breathing in for 1, more for 2, more for 3, and still more powerful for 4, okay? So here we go. Nice breath in for 1, for 2. Keep filling for 3, for 4, and on your out breath, same thing. Release it for 4, for 3, for 2, and still have a little more to release at 1. And we're going to do 3 more breaths like this. Breathe in for 1, for 2, for 3, still more for 4. A brief pause and let it out the same way for 4, for 3, for 2, and still more for 1. Breathe in. Feel that expansion getting bigger for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4. Brief pause and release for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Again, breathe in for 1. Still more for 2. Fill those lower lungs for 3. Expand the ribs for 4. Brief pause. And release for 4, for 3, for 2. The last of the breath on 1. And relax. And hopefully you noticed more expansion, more filling in your low lungs, which is important because we don't want to breathe into our upper back and shoulders. Hence the focus on that breath for the beginning. You can continue to use all that expansion. And now as you breathe out, we're going to do a little chin nod. But we're not going to lose any of the height in our spine. So as you breathe out, you're moving your gaze to look down slightly. You're tucking the chin a little bit, but you're not dropping the whole head forward. And then you're breathing in to come back up to neutral. So out breath and back up to neutral. You can think of bringing your chin back towards your throat. It's a good visual for some people. Always with the idea that you're getting taller, you're getting more length, especially in the back of the neck. Out breath to nod the chin, to return back to neutral. And one more time like this. Really picture that your head is a ball rolling on top of your spine, right? It's not bringing the spine with it at this point. Good. And then back up to your lovely neutral. And then we're going to lift the chin the other way. So keeping length in our spine though, we're going to lift and raise the chin forward and come back to neutral. Lift and raise the chin forward and come back to neutral. And then just as a bit of an experiment, I want you to place your hands on your breastbone. So if you can get on your skin, that's even better, or just over your shirt, but putting enough pressure that you can really press onto that breastbone. And then I want you to raise the chin again. And come back to neutral. And if you feel a little more of a stretch like that, you can hold the hands there. Because sometimes we're tight in the very superficial, close to the surface, muscles and tissues in the front of our throat. If you don't really notice a difference at all, you can just have the hands back on the knees or at your sides. Beautiful. Last one like that. Gazing straight ahead. Now on your out breath, nodding that chin like we did in the beginning. But now you're going to allow the whole head to roll forward. So you're continuing to look down, you're continuing to look down, and you're not dropping the chin into the chest. You're really keeping a distance because you're thinking of length, right? You're trying to feel, if you are tight in your neck, try to feel a bit of a stretch here, right up through the back of the neck, like someone's pulling on that string at the top of your head. They're pulling it forward. Beautiful. And then try to roll back up. Imagine restacking each bone of your neck one at a time, and then the last thing to come up to vertical is the face, the chin. And let's do that again. We'll add a little rotation this time. So nod the chin. And think of that length in the neck. Right? So not just collapsing into this, but really getting long out of the top of your head. Beautiful. And then we're going to turn. And we're going to bring the whole head to look over the right shoulder. It's like your chin is going to trace a little bit of a semicircle. And then you're going to bring the whole face back to look to the floor. And then moving to look over the left shoulder. And this is to lengthen and release the back of the neck. Back to the center, to the right. So if you don't come up all the way, if you stay with a little chin tuck and your gaze down, that's fine. Or if you feel like you want to come up to have that face really vertical, like we do in some of our other videos, you can do what feels good in your neck for this and your upper back. But you're just gently rolling the head from side to side, but with the idea that all of the bones of your neck are like separating, being lengthened, being lengthened, being lengthened. so that you're active in the front of your neck while you're lengthening the back of your neck. And let's just do one more beautiful sweep to your final side. Gorgeous. And coming back to your center. Go a little deeper into your round curve. So allow the upper back to round. Right down to like the base of your shoulder blades. Beautiful. And restacking. Doesn't that feel good? All right, doing a little shoulder blade motion here. So just have your hands out to the sides. Be nice and tall in your posture. And we're going to raise both shoulders up towards our ears. And then we're going to press the shoulders back down. And I want you to feel that activity behind you in the shoulder blade area, the back, right? So inhaling and climbing, 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 climbing with those shoulders. And then exhale. Drop the shoulders away. Inhale to climb both shoulders up towards the ears, and watch that chin doesn't poke forward, right? You're still trying to keep the length in your neck. And release. And if you get the breath reversed or you want to reverse the breath, that's fine, as long as you're breathing here. And you're thinking still of length in your neck and great mobility in the shoulders. Let's do one at a time. So let's do 3 with just the right arm. So let that right shoulder climb up towards the right ear, but keep the head and neck nice and still. That face nice and vertical, not tipping the ear to the shoulder. And then press that right shoulder down and raise it up again. Right shoulder up towards the ear and then drop it away. Right shoulder up towards the ear. Because sometimes in order to release tension, we have to contract the muscle. We have to use the muscle. We have to get some blood flow going there. So as you can just roll out there. As counterintuitive sometimes as it is, if you're tight in your trapezius, your upper trapezius muscles or the levator scap, to use that muscle and then release it, sometimes then it relaxes. So let's do the left shoulder just 3 times on its own. Right is just nice and still. You're tall in your posture. Raise the right shoulder and then press down and feel the activity around your shoulder blade as you press that shoulder back down. Raise it up. And release it down. And one more time. Keep that head, the neck nice and tall and vertical. Don't poke the chin forward. Gorgeous. And then roll them out. And just do a little bit like that, where you roll, you roll, you roll, you roll. And just let that movement, even, don't worry about controlling the rib cage. Just like you're doing, a backstroke without the full arm movement here. Do a little back crawl with your shoulders. And then reverse it and try to roll those shoulders forward, but just one at a time, alternating so that you get that movement going into your upper spine as well. Doesn't that feel nice? And relax. Good. So one more exercise in sitting before we go to our mat, or one nice stretch, I should say. 2. No, I lied. 2. 2 nice stretches. Often if we're really tight in the front of the chest, then we get pulled into this head forward posture and down with our throat, and then everything here is working a lot against the tightness in the front. So we're going to be opening across the chest, and you have your choice of 2 versions. You can just have the arms out to the sides and press them back behind you. And if you feel a lovely deep pull there, in your shoulders, that's fine. Otherwise, many of you know our butterfly. So you can put the hands to the temples, or if you're able to, you can put the hands right behind the head. If you do that, you don't want to poke the head forward, though. Really make sure that whatever posture you choose, the head is pressed back into the hands. And as we breathe in, we're going to do a beautiful opening across the chest. You're pressing the elbows back, and then you're lifting the breastbone. You're lifting the throat. You're lifting the face a little bit. And it doesn't have to be a big look towards the sky to feel that opening across the chest. And then on your out breath, bringing the elbows close together, tucking the chin a little bit, and rolling forward to feel that down, hopefully all the way down maybe to your shoulder blades, the bottom of your shoulder blades. Breath in to butterfly open, and we're doing this nice and slow and deliberate today because you're really focusing on releasing some tension in your chest. And exhale to tuck the chin, bring the elbows closer together. You're not pulling on the head, but you have that idea, like we did before, of lengthening, and lengthening right out of the crown of the head. 2 more nice ones. Beautiful breath in to butterfly open. Exhale to tuck the chin and feel the back of the neck and the upper back lengthen. And last one. Lift, lift, lift that breastbone. And nod. Lengthen the back of the neck. Beautiful. Good. And release. From here, I just want you to take the hands forward, and you can interlace the hands and press them away, or you can just grab a wrist if that's easier. But what we're going to do is we're going to tuck that chin gently, not right down to your chest, but just leaving that space, lengthening the neck as you move your gaze down. Good. And allowing then the shoulder blades to spread. So press the hands forward a little bit. Let the shoulder blades widen in the back. Continue to roll forward until you feel that between your shoulder blades, that part of your spine is nice and open. The shoulders are down away from the ears here. And if you're tight in those muscles, you might already feel a little bit of a stretch here. And just breathe into that space. Gorgeous. And if you're able to, if you feel a strong stretch here, you can stay here. But if you don't, let's rotate to bring those arms over to your right side and maybe feeling a little more intensity and stretch move into the left shoulder blade and the left side of that upper back. Breathe in there. Bring it back to the front. And then try it to the other side. So you're just rotating the arms and the face, I guess, face is staying looking down between the upper arms. And just see if that changes the stretch for you. How does that feel in your body? Back to the front. You can deepen into that curve a little more if you feel things are easing, and we'll do that rotation one more time. So a nice, beautiful stretch to the right where you really feel that length in the left side of the shoulder blade, the left side of the spine and rib cage maybe. Back to the center. And then rotating to the left to feel a little more intensity around your right shoulder blade, the right side of the rib cage, maybe the right neck, right? Gorgeous. Center it, roll it up, release, and then we'll come down onto our backs on the mat. And right away, we're going to have the towel underneath the back of the head. So play around with the size of your towel. If this is the first time doing the video, you'd like to have the towel behind the neck, so you feel it against the back of your neck, but it's not pushing, your neck forward towards the ceiling, and it's not making so your chin is higher than your forehead. Right? If that's the case, your towel is probably too big. You could just unroll part of it. But you want to be able to have your upper back, your shoulder blades on the mat. See if you can get your hands, palms down at your sides. And then just feel like your neck melts into the towel and the head becomes heavier into the mat behind you. Okay. And we're going to do a little loosey-goosey sort of release here where all you're going to do is you're going to keep the weight of your head on the mat, and you're going to let your head roll a little bit to the right. And back through the center and a little bit to the left. And you can really go as far as it feels good. But if your towel is as mine is, and if you have some tension at the occipital area, the suboccipital, base of the skull, then as you rotate to the right, you might feel on the right side a little bit of gentle pressure, almost in a nice way, hopefully. Right? You can go beyond if it feels good, But just stop when you feel that towel. Give a gentle pressure into the base of the skull or the very upper neck. And if you do get some tension headaches, this is a nice one to do, especially if you find that those points are very tender. Another one that people play around with is putting 2 tennis balls like in a sock and tying the end and placing that behind the neck, and the tennis balls give quite a bit more pressure than our towel does to those same spots. So that might be something that you've played around with before as well. And it works really well for some people, and other people it's a bit too intense. Good. And just move your head a couple more times and at the speed you want. Maybe you find that a little gentle shake feels really good, or maybe you like the slower and sort of sustain the hold at the end. Good. Beautiful. And then you can leave the towel there if it feels good. You can remove it if it doesn't, but keep it nearby. We're going to do a little bit of movement with our shoulder blades. So let's take the arms and just cross the right over your low ribs, and then the left on top of that. And from here, we're going to reach the front of our shoulders towards the ceiling. So you can let the arms raise a little bit, but you're going to try to pick the shoulder blades up off the mat behind you, like you have 2 strings on the front of the shoulders, and they're being hauled up towards the ceiling, and then return them back down. And I want you to press the shoulder blades into the mat at that point. Right? And so reaching, climbing the shoulders towards the ceiling, the arms can leave the chest a little bit there, and then down and press those shoulder blades back against the mat. And you're not letting any tension develop in the neck or throat here. The head is staying heavy and relaxed on the mat. You're just doing what you can with those shoulder blades. Shoulder blades press into the mat behind you, and then both shoulders climb up towards the ceiling. And then come back to your relaxed position there. And we're going to do just the right shoulder. No, I lie. We're going to do just the left shoulder. If you have your right hand under your left elbow, you're going to do the left shoulder. So left shoulder raises up towards the ceiling, and then the left shoulder drops back down towards the mat. And as you do, I also want you to squeeze the left elbow down into the right hand. So it's this motion of gently raising the shoulder and the elbow a little bit, and then pressing the shoulder blade back into the mat, and at the same time pressing that elbow into the right hand. And we'll do 2 more like that. And you're trying to keep the shoulder down away from the ear. So it's not climbing up towards your ear, it's only climbing up towards the ceiling. Last time, reach that shoulder forward, and then drop the shoulder back, and at the same time, press the elbow into the right hand. And then relax there, and you're going to switch which hand you have on top so that you have your left hand tucked under your right elbow. And we'll do that same thing. We'll just do 4 of them like we did on the other side. So you raise the right shoulder blade off the mat, and then you press it back towards the mat, and at the same time, press into that left hand with the elbow. So you get some good activity there and around the shoulder blade. Climb up with the shoulder, and good. And that's just to give a little bit of what we call an isometric contraction, a co-contraction. As you press the elbow into the hand, you're getting some of the muscles around the shoulder blade to contract and then maybe release. So last time, climbing right shoulder towards the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. And then press that shoulder down towards the mat, and at the same time squeeze the elbow in towards that hand, and then just relax the arms. We're going to take the rolled up towel and turn it so that it's running the same way as your spine, lengthwise, and put it behind the head. So it's going to hold your head forward off the mat a little bit, but you want to be nice and centered, right? You don't want to be falling off one side. And just get yourself balanced there. And you'd like it to be quite tight, this rolled up towel at this point, because you're going to be playing around with how steady you can keep your head on it. All right, so raise those shoulders off the mat and then up, drop them back down. So try to be as open in your chest as you can here and nice and wide in your shoulders, your shoulder blades. Good. Take a nice breath in, and we're going to do an imprint and release with our pelvis. So we're in our neutral position where we have our hip pointers and our pubic bone in this nice horizontal line. And as you breathe out, allowing that low back to gently relax down towards the mat, the tummy button drawing in. Breath in to go back to neutral. And exhale to go gently flat. And just see if your head is staying nice and still on the towel, nice and relaxed. See if the shoulder blades are staying rooted to the mat. Ideally, you have no movement happening in the head on the towel and no change in pressure side to side in your shoulder blade area. Perfect. Good. Make that one your last one, and then settle into your neutral. Good. Take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, I want you to bring your right leg up to tabletop. So the knee ends up right over the hip, and release it back down. And do the other side. And we always focus on our pelvis here, but today we're focused on our head and neck and our shoulders. So as you switch from side to side here, how steady is your head staying on the towel? Good. And how even are you in your shoulder blades and your upper back on the mat? Beautiful. Good. We're going to hold this one up. So right leg in tabletop. And you can wiggle the left leg a little bit straighter just to get that knee out of the way, because we're going to circle the right thigh. So pelvis is nice and level. You're even in your shoulder blades. The head is staying very still on the towel. And you're going to go across the body first with that thigh, down and around, out to the side and back to the center. Just a little pause there and repeat. And I want you to feel what's happening with that towel behind the head. How steady is the head and neck staying? And what's happening at the shoulder blades? Right? Are you nice and even right to left? Right? This tells us a lot about our alignment and about our center control. Pause here and let's just circle the other way. So that knee going out to the side first, down and around. You're holding strong in the abdominals, as we always do with this exercise, but you're continuing to breathe once per circle. And just feel, maybe this, this direction is a little less steady in the head and neck, or maybe you're starting to get tired. Beautiful, good. And make this one your last one in this direction. If you're used to doing a higher level class with the straight leg, you could do that here. But we're just going with the easier bent knee for now. So that leg can release and go down if you want to just lengthen it out if you're tired in the hip. And then put it next to the other one on the mat and bring that left leg up to tabletop. Noticing if you have your head centered on the towel, the shoulder blades nice and even weight through your upper back. And then, same as the other direction, we're going to bring same as the other leg, we're going to bring the knee across the chest first, down and around, and back to where you started. And do you feel any tension developing in the neck or the shoulders? as you do your circle here, right? Your focus really is on relaxation in the upper body, but also stillness. And you get that stillness in the upper body by controlling in the lower core as you do your circle. So this tells you a lot about how good you're really doing this exercise. Let's go the other way. So knee goes out to the side, down and around, and back to the center. Good. Good. And we'll do one more after this. Beautiful. Good. Perfect. And then you can relax that leg. You can straighten it out for a second if you are a little tired in the hip flexor area, and then bring it back so that both knees are bent again. Good. You're in your neutral pelvis. Your shoulder blades are nice and even on the mat. Just wiggle your fingertips down towards your feet in case you have let the shoulders climb up towards the ears. And we're going to do a little bit of work in our deep neck flexors in the front. So I want you to feel how much weight you have in your head on the towel. And then I actively want you to put a little bit more. I really want you to feel like the head becomes heavy into that towel. Good. And you're going to keep the weight the same. So feel how much pressure the back of your head is putting against the towel. And we're going to do our little chin tuck. So on your out breath, without lifting the head, just tucking the chin down towards the throat. And coming back up to gaze directly at the ceiling. Tucking the chin down towards the throat. And gaze back towards the ceiling. So nice, sexy double chin. Back towards the ceiling. But what's happening here, if you're keeping that head relaxed on the towel, if you feel the front of your neck, if you feel the notch at the top of the breastbone, there's two big tendons on either side. And if you lift the weight of your head, you'll feel them pop out. And as you do this chin nod, they should be staying relaxed. The two large tendons are your sternocleidomastoid muscle. And sometimes they take over for our deep neck flexors, especially if we have a head forward posture or if we have a history of injury to the neck, whiplash or falls and stuff like that. So you're really trying to keep that throat relaxed and use the deeper neck muscles that are just in front of the throat to do this chin tuck. But of course, you don't always just have your head resting on a towel. So now we're going to build on this. You can keep a hand on those tendons just to feel what's going on. But as you breathe out and you do your chin tuck, you're still keeping the throat, the big tendons relaxed, right? The weight of my head is still 100% on the towel. And now I'm going to lift like 25% of the weight off. I'm not going to unweight the head entirely, but I'm just going to keep that chin tuck and make like I am going to lift my head. So I feel that tendon working. And then I'm going to release and go back to neutral. So just so get my hand out of the way there so you can see. So it's a chin tuck. And then I'm lifting as if I'm going to take the weight of my head off the towel. Then I'm releasing back down, full weight on the towel, return to neutral. And let's just do 3 more of those. So it's a funny little exercise. It's very subtle, but it's a nice strengthening for the front of the neck to balance sometimes the tension that's in the back. So we tuck the chin and then lift just a little portion of the weight of your head off the towel, not the whole head. Release it down and back to neutral. 2 more. A little chin tuck where you feel the length in the back of the neck, and then you imagine like you're gonna lift the head, but you get, a quarter of the way, and then you say, no, change my mind. Full weight back on the towel, back to neutral, and 1 more time. So we have a little chin tuck, little lift, return the weight, and release. Good. Perfect. And then we're going to get the towel out from behind the head. Unless having nothing behind the head leaves you like this, then you can keep a little cushion or you can keep your little towel there. Good. And then we're just going to take the arms and we're going to reach them up towards the ceiling, shoulder width apart. And we're going to do a little nice opening through the chest. So as you breathe in, let those arms reach out to the side. Keep the shoulder blades on the mat. Keep the upper back on the mat. And place those upper arms, forearms, the back of your hands against the floor. And on your exhale, bring everything back up towards the ceiling. And 2 more like that. So a nice open chest helps the neck as well. Nice, beautiful breath in. Exhale back towards the ceiling. And as you open across the chest, you're really trying to feel like nothing lifts off the floor behind you, right? So if you're very tight in the chest, you might start to lift in the neck or feel the shoulder blades want to come off. And you're really going to try to keep your whole spine grounded to the mat there. Leave your hands on the mat for this one. And we're just going to bring the arms overhead a little bit, like we're making a snow angel. And then down towards the hips. So nice snow angel action there. Arms overhead. As far as you can go before one of your arms would want to come off the mat if you're tight in the shoulder, or before your ribs would want to pop up, right? Because this is nice opening through the deep chest. Yeah, the front of the chest. And maybe you feel as you repeat here, because we're going to do one more, that you can do a bigger snow angel. That would be awesome, right? Big, big, big snow angel, arms overhead. That's as far as I can go before the ribs want to pop. And back down. Good. And then stay with the arms directly out to the sides. And bend the elbows to 90 degrees so that your fingers are reaching towards the ceiling, but your upper arm is on the mat. Good. And then we're just going to let your hands rotate back. Your shoulders are rotating really, but as if you're going to put the back of your hands on the floor behind you, but you don't move the upper arms. And then go the other way. Come up through the top and move as if you're going to put the palms of your hands on the floor without lifting the upper arms, without lifting the shoulders. Okay. And back. This is some nice shoulder movement. And just rotate here at your own pace. Trying to keep the elbows directly out from the shoulders. Not getting sneaky and moving them down so you can get that palm on the floor. Good. And this time as you bring the arms up to your cactus position, you're going to rotate the head to the right. And then you're going to rotate the head to the left. And you're keeping the weight of the head on the mat. Center it. And move so the palms are down as far as they can. And then once again, rotate to the right. Back through the center. And rotate to the left. Back to the center. We'll do one more each way. So hands up in your cactus position, like the back of your hands are reaching towards the floor. Rotate to the left first this time. Through the center. Leave the weight of the head on the mat. Rotate to the right. Back to the center. And rotate so the palms are reaching down. The elbows are still where they were. Upper arms are on the floor. And rotate to the left. And rotate to the right. Beautiful. And release everything down. Good. We're going to come back up to sitting now. This is truly a shoulder and neck and upper back workout. And we're just going to end with a nice stretch through the side of our shoulders and neck. So coming to sit either comfortably on your mat again, even on your sit bones, or in a chair. And we're going to take the left hand first. And I just want you to reach it behind your back. Right? So that you're just it doesn't matter if it gets to your hip or if it goes to the back of your pelvis, or maybe you can reach it over further and it can show up on the other side. Wherever it's comfortable for you. And I want you to keep that shoulder down and the chest nice and open. And then with the right hand, you're going to take it overhead and you're just going to place it above the left ear. And now I'd just like you to then think of lengthening the crown of your head always, but you're going to gently tip the head away from the hand that's behind your back. And it's usually very quick that you feel a nice stretch. And just breathe into wherever you feel it's a little bit tight. Smiling helps release tension too. Good. And then you can turn to look down at the mat a little bit. See if that changes the stretch for you. Come back to the center. And you can even turn to look up a little bit. Careful with that one, just go gentle. But you'll feel that, that adding that rotation often changes the stretch for you, and then maybe you can ease into it a little bit further. You can also do what we call a little bit of a muscle energy technique, where you press your head against your hand as if you're going to bring your head back up to the center, but you're not allowing it, you're holding the hand there. And then you're relaxing into it. Ooh, look at that. Try that one more time. Just press the head into the hand. And then see if we can go a little bit further. That feels lovely. And then come back up, support the head with the hand if you want. Remove the one from behind your back, shake it all out because we'll do the other side. So right hand this time, keeping your nice posture, not poking the ribs forward or moving the head out of alignment. Just slide that hand behind your back. This really depends on your shoulder flexibility. It's not just the health of your shoulder, but it's how you're built, right? So if you're very, a little more solid, bulky, broad, you might not get your hand to show up on the other side, right? And then drop that shoulder, stay open across the chest, and take the left hand overhead to place it above the right ear, and a gentle side bend, but lengthening away from the right arm. And just going to where you feel a lovely, lovely gentle stretch in your neck. Breathing there. Adding a bit of rotation, if you wish, to look down, almost into your armpit. You can come back to face forward. And looking up towards the sky, maybe. Gentle with that one, but can feel quite nice. Good. And if you want to play around a little bit with the muscle energy, make sure the shoulder's still down. And press the head into the hand without letting the head move, but as if you were going to bring the head back up to center. And then relax and see if that lets you drop the head a little more to that side. And then just one more time. My body loves muscle energy. Look how much more range there is. Woohoo! Good. And then come back up, supporting the head with the hand, relaxing the one that was behind your back, and then just give those shoulders another little roll. Let the head be nice and loose. If it feels good to just do one last nice chin tuck, to feel that length in the back of the neck, and feel that breath going deep. And then coming back up. And there we go. Let's take both arms overhead just for a nice breath. Exhale them down. One more time, breath up and overhead. There we go. Hopefully you feel good in your neck, your upper shoulders, your upper back, and hopefully your jaw as well. We didn't do any specific jaw work or self-massage to the jaw, but the upper neck, the neck itself, the alignment is so linked to the jaw that if you can get some relief of tension in your neck, if you can strengthen some of those deeper front throat muscles, anterior neck muscles, then often you will have a positive effect on the jaw. So anyway, thank you for joining. Try it again if it felt good, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.